Times are changing, and that means so is how we run society. Whether that's all-inclusive bathrooms or open borders, something that troubles us all is the destruction of history. Well, in this video, we're going to sit down together and spend some time discussing these matters, and if you personally have any thoughts, opinions regarding such, or you've just been enjoying my daily drummer commentary over here on the page, then don't forget to like, comment your thoughts, opinions down below, and subscribe to see my daily videos right here on the channel. And a huge shout out to a handful of you guys checking out those links down below in the description. Those are always some of the best ways to support me and the content around here. Now, let's begin this shit show.
Hi, so I never thought that this would be like a real thing, but we are now living at a time when libraries are becoming obsolete. Let me show you what I mean by that. This is my college's library. What is happening right now is they are going completely digital, so they are getting rid of all of the books, and that is kind of terrifying. These are all of the books from the entire library, and they're getting rid of them. And it's scary because this is a college. This is not like, just some random library. This is a college.
Now, it's always been an issue throughout the history of burning books or burning history or burning, knowledge. And that's kind of what it is that you're burning history. And apparently, across certain colleges right now, they're turning extremely, completely electronic. They're just getting rid of all the authentic, old, traditional libraries, and they're getting rid of all the the real books, and now they're all going to be online. I mean, I understand, not wanting to have students bring textbooks that weigh like a bajillion pounds from class to class. That definitely is unrealistic when we have these other ways of doing such with, laptops, iPads, and tablets. Even cell phones can do more than, I guess a modern cell phone has more technology than what they went to the moon with, so they say, if that ever happened. But the crazy reality is that this is actually a pretty dangerous reality, being that, maybe some of these books are just bullshit stories that don't really mean much and can't really, affect anything. But a lot of this stuff is genuinely stuff that can probably never be seen again. And they get to choose what gets put online and what gets pushed. And then you don't really get much say on what you can search for. Because, yeah, you can maybe find a book in your grandpa's attic, but they get to choose which downloads you get to have on the online sources. And it kind of goes against the whole thing of freedom, which, again, is more of just a ideological. It's not real. It's like pretend. Like, freedom is just something that they allow us to think we have, but really it's just how much they allow us to have. Now, who's they? Whoever's in charge. It depends on what you're talking about here. Whoever is in charge of burning these libraries, apparently it's the said college. But I hope they don't just start jumping the gun here and stop selling notebooks and pens and paper. I mean, are we just going to stop doing that? Is that like the next step for this? Or where is this headed? Where are we going with this? I'd like to know your guys' thoughts, opinions regarding the whole book burning thing, as well as any books that you personally have read that have been quote-unquote banned that you think is just propaganda or bad or isn't really necessarily the right way to solve these issues.
New survey results find that nearly half of teens say they are almost constantly online, and all of them just about are on the internet every single day. One recent estimate put it at about 8 hours of daily screen time. That's more than sleep, and it's 2 more hours than when I was first writing about this more than a decade ago. And yes, there are consequences, according to the research: sleep problems, mood swings, a decline in good things like outdoor and physical activity, and a rise in worrying things like body image issues. And it's all why a bipartisan group of members of Congress and parent advocacy groups and even tech companies, even Elon Musk, who owns X, are now asking lawmakers to pass something called the Kids Online Safety Act, or KOSA. It would require tech companies to protect children from the harm their platforms may cause, which at this point is a very long list. The bill passed the Senate 91-3 over the summer, but it's been held up in the Republican-controlled House. As Speaker Mike Johnson says, yeah, I believe in the principles of the bill, but he says he's worried about how it will affect free speech. And that indeed seems to be the sticking point with Congress. So the question is, what now? Are we living through that moment of history, or is all this just another alert on our phones?
I don't think there's really any argument, mentioning that newer modern generations spend the majority way too much time online on the internet, not in reality. And I saw this quote the other day saying that these modern generations are going to grow up and they're going to get to a point in their life where they've enjoyed more experiences from other people through their screen in their bedroom than they have went out and lived these experiences themselves. And now, basically, what we've been touching on here on my channel since the beginning is that nobody can afford to go do such matters, but it's not just the case. So there are a lot of free events. There are a lot of, ways you can save up, and, even, I guess you can't go out every weekend. You can't take a trip every month, but you can do it once or twice a year and still build up these experiences over time. When now, if you look back, when was the last time you really enjoyed yourself in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years? When was the last time you went out? When was the last vacation trip you ever taken? I'm 25 and I've never been able to take a vacation or a trip, but every day I always enjoy seeing it through other people's lenses. So, is that going to be my entire reality, or am I going to, start owning up to the fact that I only get one life, and despite the money, I still have to live it? So, kind of a weird reality. And also, it's easy, it's comfortable, it's very convenient to sit here and watch other people go and enjoy this shit, and not have to worry about the financial aspect of it when there's already so many worries in that matter anyway. So, what do you think? Do you think this is kind of a weird dystopian reality that we're living in, or is that just how it's been for quite a while now?
The downfall of community is going to be the downfall of humanity. The lack of community makes people separate themselves out of society more because they cannot find others like them, so they think everyone is against them. But I think there's three main contributing factors to why community is failing. Now, granted, I don't think these three are the end-all be-all. One of the biggest issues I see today is we promote like hyper-individualism. We don't promote being yourself. We promote being yourself to a point where it's detrimental to you being friends with people who have different opinions. The second one, economic hardships. I think the lack of money makes everyone feel very constricted and not wanting to do things outside of themselves and not do things that are beneficial to others. And then vilifying anyone whose political beliefs oppose yours. I just don't understand why we can't have conversations.
I think we're currently experiencing the destruction of humanity. With AI coming full force swing, and then we have, we're burning books, so we're going to be completely transferring to just relying on the internet. And what if we have this whole apocalyptic end of the world? What if a big meteor comes and hits, and the end of the dinosaurs happens again? Is there going to be this one special indestructible USB with every bit of knowledge to ever be given or written or produced that's going to be discovered by a future generation or civilization or aliens? I doubt that's the case. We're probably going to be wiped out, and it also kind of makes you think is, how far have civilizations gotten in the past where you really see how fragile our life is, and then you really think it really would be really easy for everything just to restart again. So is it the rapture incoming? Is that what it is? That's what some people might be debating on TikTok. Is it just, is the Big Bang times two? I'm not really sure how the whole science thing here, but I know the Big Bang is part of it. Either way, what do you guys think? Is this just the raw reality and that living on Earth is hell? Or is it just everybody being a negative Nancy and doomer mentality? Because that's probably a lot of it too. The world is changing and is continuing to do so. And whether you're ready or not, time will continue on. So if you have any other thoughts, opinions regarding anything discussed in today's video or any matters of that stuff, I'd love to hear those thoughts, opinions down below in the comments, as well as I love to sort through those, read those, and respond to the ones I see fit. And a huge shout out to the handful of you guys checking out those links down below in the description. Those are always some of the best ways to support me and the content right here on the page. I definitely appreciate all you guys who've been continuing to throw your support over here daily, as well as feel free to come by and hang out with me in my evening live streams. I try to do those daily, but sometimes it's every other day. But either way, I definitely appreciate you guys who continue to show your support over there. So hope you've been enjoying. That's kind of it for me in this one, so bye.